on science. Okay, so I've kind of adapted a presentation, really just talking about science in the labour market, giving you some ideas, and talking also about some future careers, because the science area is really taking off. I have a bit of a confession to make. I didn't like science at school. I wasn't very good at it. I thought science, you know, what does it mean to me? I'm never going to use it. In fact, when I left school and when I started working, I started to realise how much science is involved in the workplace and how interesting it is. I wish I could go back and do some stuff. So I'm just going to run through some stuff with you here. So we're going to highlight some trends in science careers, including local labour market, talk about some different careers and where jobs can be found in science, and future careers and careers that link to science as a subject. These fancy graphics here. Right, these are some sort of trends and Staffordshire information particularly. These are some of the technologies that involve science. Building technology. Someone said before about interest in doing brickwork and joinery. You didn't think there's much science in that. Lots of science in that. Environmental technology, manufacturing, working in factories. Massive science in working in factories. Environmental technologies. You know, the environment and, you know, greenhouse gases and global warming. You've all heard it on TV. That's big news. Food and drink. When you guys go and work in the food and drink sector, massive thing about science and food and drink, you know, food hygiene. You know, if the food's not right, if it's left out and it goes bad, people get ill and people can die. So you've got to know the science of food, especially if you work in that area. Medical technologies, massive area again. We're all getting older. Something I think like 40% of us are going to be over 65 in the next few years. So medical technology, big pressure on hospitals. You know how big employers hospitals are. Loads and loads of jobs there. Transport technologies, agriculture, forestry and fishing. So people going to work in farming, into horticulture. A lot of science in that as well. Yeah. Manufacturing, okay, working in factories. High technology. And I would say we've kind of covered health there as well. This is just a really small snapshot. You could spend hours and hours looking at those individual areas. Employee numbers. So you looking here, employee numbers for the cluster. These are a few years out of date, but you see that whereas some of the areas like in environmental technologies, manufacture, power and associated equipment, that kind of went down a little bit in Great Britain as a whole, but in Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent, it actually went up. In Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent, it's quite a big hub for those areas. Okay, just going to give you some major employers of power and associated equipment projects. So these we talked about, like factories, technology areas. Do you recognise any of those? Have you heard of any of those? I'm just thinking one's in Stoke, Staffordshire Hydraulic in Kidsgrove down the road, UCS Automation. These are kind of companies, local companies that you can look at there. These are major employers in medical technologies. Yeah. So Mere Park. There's a massive technology park at Keele. That's one of the big employers. So you'll see here, these are all Staffordshire based. Barclays Pharmaceuticals. Some of these companies you've probably driven past and you don't realise, but they're big employees and they're spending lots of money. Okay, lots of staff employed in these areas. Okay. So these are some of the key findings. Output in science and technology is going up. Employment growth amongst science and technology based occupation is getting bigger. So whereas there's been unemployment and some issues in some areas, science and technology is kind of a growth area. Annual wages across science will be going up as well. Lots of job creation here. People in STEM areas, science, technology, engineering and maths, traditionally good areas of employment now. We'll just skip through that. So these are some of the career areas, as I say. Science engineering, information science, that's sort of computing, plant biology, so the people are going to work in agriculture and horticulture. Anybody interested in working in those areas? Yeah, some of you, yeah. So you need to know the science of the plants and all and how things work. Engineering, so some of you working in factories. Physicists, that's kind of looking at the stars and the astronomy and all those areas and the chemistry part of it. Geology, looking at rocks. Computer science, forensic science. Who watches CSI? Yeah, all those areas. Forensic science, lots of college courses in that area. Sports science, who likes their sport? Yeah, sports science is massive. You know, who's been watching the Winter Olympics? Yeah. Okay, Winter Olympics, football teams, they've all got sports scientists. It's massive now, looking to get the best ways of how people can get the maximum out of their bodies. So sports science is massive now. Okay, medical science as well, okay, massive area. So these are some of the jobs here that you can do in those areas, kind of linked jobs. Okay, lots of areas. So qualification routes, GCSEs, apprenticeships, yeah. Some of the skills they want you there. These are skills that you can transfer to a lot of places. Good organisation, planning skills, IT, communication. That's why a lot of the things you do in school, all your subjects will be linking into that. Lots of progression in the science sector. Okay, so a lot of the qualifications you can do in-house as well in science. Just look at forensic science as a career. So these are some of the areas here, logical approach. So if you watch it, you'll see how kind of in-depth that is. And there are some local college courses.
Sorry, sir, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I had a friend at university. Most of my friends at university, they all wanted to be doctors. All of them, except for me. I was the only person who was actually on my chemistry degree, wanting to do chemistry. And they graduated, and one of my friends became a forensic scientist. She's now working for Greater Manchester Police, and some of the biggest crimes she's working on. Yeah. And remember, she wanted to be a doctor, didn't make it as a doctor, but she loves what she's doing now, and she's leading up big teams in Manchester.
Yeah, good. Really interesting area. Yeah. So alternative careers which involve science, where you can find employment that includes science without a degree. So some of the jobs here: electrician, computing, working for water companies, plumbing, horticulture, agriculture, working in rail, mechanics, mobile phones, computing. These are all careers where you probably wouldn't think of as science-based, but a massive science base to them. So, you know, you'll see there how much science is an important part of it. Looking at careers in horticulture, production and commercial horticulture. It employs 116,000 individuals, yeah. And landscaping and sports turf has 47,000 businesses and 193,000 employees. So horticulture, agriculture, all those areas, very important. And you need to know the science of what you're working with. So it's really important. And future careers. So they did a study and looked at some of the careers that are going to be important in the next sort of 20 years. So these are some of the careers that you may be involved in. Okay, some interesting ones here. Body part maker. Body part maker. Who see these science fiction? But they are at the stage now where they can create living body parts. They can grow ears and the use of stem cells and T cells to actually regenerate and grow actual body parts. So that's going to be massive. Nanomedic. This is about using little pills. You can have little robots inside the pills and intelligent pills that can actually go directly. So say you've got a heart problem, they can actually deliver drugs right into your heart and they can be controlled from outside. And the nanomedicine, they're testing that now, is really important. And that's something that's going to be, you know, rather than actually cut you open and open you up, they're going to be able to use these intelligent nanomedicine, nanotechnology. GM pharma, GM crops. It's starting now, but it's going to be more and more where they're going to engineer crops and livestock to make the most of diminishing resources. So in China now, lots of that in the moment in China. What's happening in China is they're actually developing crops which are resistant to some of the bugs, some of the worms. So that's kind of a big area. Wellness consultant. This is about holistic and personal care for the elderly. As I say, we've got an ageing population. There's going to be lots of jobs in the care sector.